Now, as if we didn't need any reminding, businesses around this country have had an incredibly tough couple of years, particularly, of course, in Melbourne, the world's most locked down city. Now they're about to cop another hit to their budgets with the Victorian government introducing sick pay, would you believe, for casual workers. There's a 2-year trial to start off with, giving casuals 5 days sick pay a year at the national minimum wage. The Victorian Premier Daniel Andrews says the scheme is going to get rid of or curb toxic, unstable, casual employment.
Let's be clear, insecure work is toxic. It's not just toxic in our state, it's a problem across the whole country. And a proper national government who is interested in reform would perhaps be part of this. In any event, they'll be able to look at the results of our 2-year trial. I think this is going to be a fantastic success for workers, for businesses, and most importantly for families right across the state.
I wonder if they think casual work is toxic because people are less likely to join the union. I wonder if they think full-time workers are more likely to join the union. I wonder if that factors into their consideration. Now, this trial is going to be government funded initially, but if it goes ahead, there'll be a levy on businesses to pay for sick pay for casual workers in the hospitality industry. Let's bring in the restaurateur, Chris Lucas, who has restaurants in Melbourne and Sydney and joins me now. Good to talk to you, Chris. Tell us about this. I thought the whole idea of casual work was you got paid extra. There's a loading to make up for the fact that it's casual and you don't get holidays and sick pay.
Well, that's exactly the right point, Chris. The casual workers get a 25% loading. And this is basically an ideology that's that defeats common sense. It's double dipping, and it has no support from any industry group or any employer group. And it also disadvantages the employees who have chosen to be full-time or part-time employees. So the other thing that I find quite concerning, Chris, is that the Premier referred to casual employment as utterly toxic. Now, I don't know what world he lives in, but I can tell you that my 300 casual workers don't feel that their work environment is toxic at all. And in fact, they've chosen to be casual workers because they're part-time university students, they're holding down different jobs. Some of them can only work 15 or 20 hours because it suits them, because they're doing other things in their life. So it's not something that employers are enforcing upon employees.
I totally agree with you. Most of us have been casual employees at some stage, and certainly most of us know casual employees, and it's quite often exactly the choice you want. You want that flexibility and you get that extra money. That's what makes me wonder, Chris, about what's behind this. Do you in your restaurants see that full-time staff are more likely to be union members? Do you think it's about driving up union membership, or is there something else pushing the Labor government here?
Well, of course, only the government could tell you that. Look, what we find about the government here in Victoria is it's very secretive. It has very little dialogue with business. It's not open to a genuine two-way discussion where they genuinely take on board our feedback. They just push ahead. And in most cases, Chris, with a really deep sense of ideology ahead of common sense. Another thing that I think Mr. Andrews said today, and by the way, he made this announcement today on a public holiday, which I think says a lot about the announcement, that he's trying to either hide away from any particular public criticism, because really the policy is nonsensical. It's just silly. It's stupid. As I said to you, workers are getting paid 25% loading to compensate for the fact that they don't get sick leave or holiday entitlements. Every casual worker that I speak to elects to be in the system. We don't force them to become casual workers. So I think it's just ideology. The thing that's really concerning here, Chris, and I think this is a wake-up call for all Australians right across the country. Today, Mr. Andrews has said that this should be a national policy.
Yeah.
Now, I think what he's trying to say is that he's forging ahead here in Victoria with this ridiculous policy in the hope that a federal Labor government comes in and makes this a ridiculous policy a national policy. So it's flagging quite clearly where Labor at the state and at the federal level sits. on something like this. And I think that everyone should be thinking long and hard before they start putting their vote in at the federal level, because we now know what's coming.
Just very quickly, yes or no, would this lead to less casual employment, you think, long term?
Less casual employment, Chris. Also here in Victoria, 300,000 small businesses have gone broke in the last 2 years, thanks to Mr Andrews' lockdowns. And that'll only just compound the trauma and economic shame that's gone in this state. And of course, it'll prolong any rebuild.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, Chris. I appreciate that. Strong words there from Chris Lucas with Lucas Restaurants there. I mean, honestly, as if the hospitality sector hasn't been going through a tough enough time, and you pay casual workers, your valued casual workers, extra 25% loading to make up for the fact that there's no sick leave and holiday pay. That's the system. We've all grown up with that. It works. But now, yeah, as Chris says, double dipping. You get sick pay as well. So does the pay come down? Do you lose that loading? I think not. And he's right, a very wise observation there, that if Daniel Andrews wants it to go national, he's flagging a policy that federal Labor could look to impose on small business right across the country. Keep an eye on that one.